everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is my June wrap up. This month was really weird to say the least. Y'all wanna know something so crazy? I didn't read a single book on my TBR. There's always next month, you know? And I was in like the middle of 4 books the whole month, and I did not finish a single book until June 20th. So I went the whole month without basically reading anything. But in those 10 days or whatever, I ended up reading 5 books. So let's get into the stats. So in June, I read 5 books. I read 1,995 pages. My average rating was 4.3 stars. The genre breakdown, I read 3 mystery/thriller and 2 fantasies. So the first book I read, which I actually have beef with this book, is The Housemaid is Watching by Frida McFadden. Listen, I gave this book a 4 stars and it honestly deserves a 3. I hate to be negative. Like, okay, listen, I did like it. I enjoyed it. I was having fun while I was reading. It was a good time. But comparing it to the first 2 books in the series, it just wasn't nearly as good. This was one of my most anticipated releases to come out, so I just had very high expectations going into it, and it just didn't meet those expectations. So I feel like if you go into the mindset of it being like, it's not gonna be that good, it's gonna be like nothing like the first 2, then I feel like you could enjoy it more. But I just had too high of expectations going in, you know? The only reason I did give it a 4 was because I do really like the series as a whole, and I still did enjoy it. I love the characters and the world that she has built in this series. I still enjoyed it. It just wasn't that good. I feel like the first half or maybe more of the book was just really slow. It was a lot of buildup that I feel like we didn't need because we already know our characters and stuff from the first 2 books. So it's like, it was a lot of just like filler, it seemed like. And I'm just really sad because this is the first Frida McFadden book. What did I say? Did I say Frida McFadden? This is the first Frida McFadden book that I haven't rated 5 stars. So I'm very sad about this one and I have some beef with it. But you know, I still enjoyed, but it's just, it is what it is. The plot twist, I was just like, I feel like the first 2 books with the plot twist, I was like, jaw on the floor for like a good 10 minutes, and there was like multiple plot twists back and forth, back and forth. This one literally just had 1 plot twist, and when it happened, I was just like, oh, okay, like that's what happened. Like I was still like, oh, but I wasn't like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I don't know. I'm just disappointed, honestly. I feel like this series should have just stuck with the first 2 and it would have been amazing, great, fun time. Now on to a more positive note. The next 2 books I read this month were 2 in a series, The Naturals and Killer Instinct by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. The Naturals is basically about a group of kids that have natural gift abilities, and they basically take these kids, put them into a group where basically they're helping the FBI solve cases. They're supposed to be working on cold cases, but then some cases end up like intertwining with their personal lives, so they have to help on those cases. This is literally like true crime put in a book. I really enjoyed this first one. Like, it was so good. I loved the case in this one. The beginning portion was a little slow, but just because they're introducing all the characters and, you know, you have to have the build up of introducing everything. But once it got going, like probably halfway point, it was really good. I did not want to put it down at all. I gave this one a 4.5. And then Killer Instinct, I gave a 4. I liked the first one better than this one, which is weird because I feel like I hear a lot of people say that they like this one more, like the most. I don't know. I feel like the plot twist of this one, there just wasn't really a plot twist. Like the first book, the plot twist was crazy. I was like, oh my gosh. This one didn't have any of those moments, but it did have moments where I was like, oh, that's what's going on? Like, oh. But obviously, I love Dean. The fact that this case was like revolved around him was fun. Oh, also there's a love triangle in these. I'm rooting for Dean. I can't wait to continue this series. Like, I read both of these back to back because I was just like, I want to keep reading it. But I don't have the books yet, so now I get to go buy them, and I'm so excited. The next book I read in June was Powerless by Lauren Roberts. Now, this is a reread for me. 5 stars, obviously. Do we expect anything else? I also like re-tabbed a bunch, so now it's like even more tabbed than it was before. I reread this because Reckless, the second book, is coming out literally tomorrow. Literally tomorrow. Actually, by the time y'all are watching this, today it's coming out. I just wanted to refresh my memory, and obviously I love this book. It's a 5 stars, so I was like, I really want to reread it. And I was just seeing so much stuff online about Reckless coming out and the novella, and I was just like, all I could think about was Powerless, so I was like, I'm just gonna reread it. Because it was literally stopping me from reading other things because it was just on my mind. If you somehow haven't heard of this, it's basically a romance fantasy. There are elites and ordinaries. Elites have powers, ordinaries don't. The king is trying to that doesn't have powers because he thinks that they're weakening the elite's powers. And Peyton, our main female character, she is an ordinary and she gets put in these trials that are between the elites to basically showcase who the most powerful elites are. So she's like fighting against powerful people and she's just trying to survive basically. Kai, our main male character, he is an elite and he's actually son of the king. And he's also entered in these trials, so him and Peyton are having to fight / be teammates. This book is just so good. Like, the banter is, there's nothing like it. Like, there's literally nothing like this. For a no spice book, the banter, like, that's all I need. The tension, like, that's all I need. And I'm literally itching to read the next one. Like, I'm just, oh my gosh. I'm also really scared though. Like, I'm really scared. The last book that I read in June is Assassin's Blade by Sarah J. Maas. Now, this is the prequel to the Throne of Glass series, and there's a lot of controversy on whether you should read this book first or second or third or fourth, but I decided to read it first. I loved it. I gave it 4 stars. I honestly did not expect to like it this much. Like, I kind of went in with low expectations because I was like, it's the prequel, like, a lot of people say it's boring, yada yada, it's like whatever. But I was honestly having an amazing time reading this. I'm literally so excited to start reading Throne of Glass, and I think I'm really gonna like this series. I don't know. It is a long series though. Long, emphasis on long. But basically this book was about Selena. She's an assassin, so she goes around like people, you know. But this is basically just about her backstory and where she came from, things that have happened to her to make her the person she is. So yeah, I don't really know where the series is gonna go from here. It kind of ended on like a cliffhanger, so I really need to start the next one like ASAP. And the ending was really sad, honestly. Like, I feel so bad for her, and I already feel so connected to her in just this little prequel. Not little, it's pretty long. Yeah, I can't wait to see where this goes. I'm so glad that I did decide to read it first because I'm a person that, like, if they mention something in books, like, I want to know what they're talking about, you know? And if they mention situations that happened in this book in the next few books, I don't know what they're talking about, it's gonna make me like confused and like it's gonna take me out of the story. So I'm glad I know all the context behind everything. Those are all the books that I read in June. It wasn't an amazing reading month. It was because all the books that I read this month I enjoyed, besides one that I have beef with, but we don't talk about it anyways. Hopefully I can read even more next month. I'm definitely out of my little slump that I was having, and hopefully I can actually read off my TBR this month. I'm looking at my TBR right now. You know what? I'm about to go pick up one of those books on my TBR right now. So we're gonna do better this month, okay? Mark my words. But anyways, that is all for today's video. Thank y'all so much for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.